What's up everybody, I'm Sean. I do a lot of tip videos and sharing videos about my university life just like this one. If you are new here, welcome and consider subscribing. I'm super excited for this video because as you can see from the title, I'm going to show all of you on how do I get 4.0, which is 4 flat last semester. Before this, I've made a video on how do I get Dean's List. I'm going to link it up here or up here. I strongly recommend you to watch it first, then only come back to this video. Because that video is going to give you a general idea, but in this video, I'm going to further explain and break down all the tips, all the skills, and all the techniques that I have gained throughout my first year and second year for you. So, without further ado, let's begin. First of all, let me show you the general format for a subject. Now, this is not 100% equal for all subjects, but they are more or less the same. I'm a junior or third year student of Computer and Communication Systems Engineering in UPM, and this is the format of one of my subjects. 40% for final exams, 10% for test 1, another 10% for test 2, 15% for lab, and 25% for final project or assignment. Usually the 40% mark location for final exams are fixed, unchangeable, and all the chapters that you have learned in class are covered in final exams. And you have to score pretty decent for final exams if you want to get A for that subject. And the remaining marks such as test 1, test 2, project are usually changeable. For example, the marks allocation for test 1 and lab are 10% and 15% respectively. Now, if the whole class did very bad for test 1 and very good in lab, then maybe the lecturer will decrease the marks allocation for test 1 from 10% to 5% and increase the marks allocation for lab from 15% to 20% so that most of the students in that class can get a better grade for that subject. Alright guys, now you already have a general idea about the marks allocation, and now I'm going to start sharing about the tips, the skill and the techniques that I have learned. The first section is about how I attend the class. The second section is about how do I study. And the final section is about the group project. First section, how I attend the class. First, as I have mentioned in my previous video, I think that it's really important to sit in the first row. The reason is because that I can concentrate much better when I'm sitting at the first row. So try to rest well the night before your class. Don't burn the midnight oil if it is unnecessary. And don't skip class. Don't skip class. By the way, I really want to say thank you to all my lecturers because most of them are experienced and very good in teaching. I think all of us truly know the feeling of having a good teacher opposed to having a bad teacher. If I have a good teacher, I'll be super happy and super grateful. I will be super focused, like laser beam focus, and try to absorb everything that is coming out from the lecturer's mouth. Now, the problem is, what if you are having a moderate lecturer? A lecturer that is not so good in teaching. A lecturer that doesn't have a lot of experience in teaching. You can't understand what the lecturer is teaching. You get so boring in class. Eventually, you end up with playing phone, sleeping, or just give up, right? Now, I just want to share a little story with all of you. About 5 years ago, when I was 17 years old, one day, when I was attending my tuition class in the afternoon, it was a hot afternoon and I feel so sleepy because I had a long day at my high school. So I gave up on learning by sleeping in the tuition class. Then my tutor waked me up and told me this. She said, "Sean, since you are locked in this room for 2 hours and you can't go anywhere, so why don't you try your best to learn in the class? If you want to sleep, you can go back home and sleep and don't waste your time here." I was like, wow, what the tutor said is actually very true. And that is a very great motivation for me. Alright guys, now let's go back to the topic just now. If my lecturer is not so good in teaching, maybe the lecturer can only explain 20% of the class very well. It's okay, I will try to absorb and learn that 20%. Because later, when I am studying this subject for final exams, at least I start studying with 20%, not 0%. I'm not starting from scratch, I'm not starting from zero, I'm not starting from nothing, I'm starting from something. And that something is going to make my study much efficient and easier. Trust me, give it a try, give it a shot. Do something is always better than do nothing at all. Sometimes I'm extremely tired in the class and I can't absorb anything. So what I will do is, I will tell myself this: come on Sean, you can do it. Sean, stay focused. You know, that kind of self-motivation can really help me a lot. Next is about taking notes. I will try to take a lot of notes in the class because when I am studying later, I can link everything up. You know, like, oh, the doctor used this example to explain in class. Oh, this theory can be explained using this analogy. Let me find a notebook. Personally, I like to use notebook for taking notes. One notebook is for one subject and I will label the short form up here so that it's more convenient. Some people will prefer to use A4 paper to jot down all the notes and put it in a binder like this. I don't do that because I am a careless person and I might lost all the papers. Second section, how do I study? Alright guys, study is extremely important because around 60% of the total marks are actually exam based. So in order to get an A or 4 flat, we have to make sure that we can do well in the exam. Actually, I've made a video or a vlog to show you how I prepare myself for the final exams. You can click the link up here or up here. Now, all of us know that there is a limit when it comes to focus and concentration. I guess nobody can study straight for 8 hours or 6 hours without taking any breaks. Basically, I will divide my study day into 3 sessions. So I will study 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, and 2 hours at night. But I don't study for 2 hours without taking any breaks. So what I will do is, I will study for 20 minutes, then I will take a 10-minute breaks, and then I will study 20 minutes. And during that 10 minutes break, I won't play heavy stuff such as playing video games because that will consume my brain power. Instead, I will do some simple workouts such as push-up, pull-up. These exercises are great because it helps our body to circulate the blood throughout our body, especially the brain. When I am studying, I will make sure that there's no distraction at all. I will mute my handphone, put on the earphone and just study. This is because when we are so focused on studying and something interrupts us, then it's going to take some time for us to be in deep focus again. It's not efficient at all if you keep getting interrupted by the handphone. Last section, group project. Alright, usually final project is around 25% of the total marks, and the final project is in group. The final project consists of several parts, such as brainstorming idea, implementing the hardware part, doing the software part, presentation, and writing reports. To be honest, I am quite good in writing reports and doing the presentation, but I am not talented in doing the software part, hardware part, and brainstorming idea. For example, last semester, which is semester 4, I've taken a subject called microprocessor, and we have 4 people in one group for the final project. I think we have formed a good team because me and one of my teammates can do the presentation and report, and the other 2 teammates are super talented in software and hardware part. At the end of the day, we get a pretty decent marks for the final project because everyone in the group is doing their jobs very well. In short, everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. So we have to know our strength and other people's strength. If you are given the chance to select your groupmate or your teammates, try to select teammates with different strengths so that everyone can do their job well. For example, if you are good in doing the hardware part, then you can find teammate A that can do software, teammate B that can do presentation, teammate C that can write report, and teammate D that can brainstorm the idea, so that you can form a very good and balanced team. But if you can't choose your teammate, it's okay. It's a good way to know your own weaknesses and strengthen it. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it benefits you. So, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to this channel if you aren't already. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss any of my videos in the future. And I will see you in the next one. Bye! I'm a junior to circulate the blood, especially the blade. The brain, not the plane. To circulate the brain. Brain. Copy.